President's Day, we hung the banners high, polished up the history, baked a liberty pie. Washington chopped cherry trees, Lincoln held the line. You weren't even considered, sir, exclusion by design. But toasting folks who showed some grace, not a tantrum in orange face. You want a party, wrong buffet. It's President's Day, just not your day. Oh, time, we're celebrating presidents, but you don't make the cut. We don't are liars, cheats, or Epstein's buddies. Full stop. We raise a glass to decency. You spilled yours in a tweet. It's President's Day, my dude, but you don't get a seat. You slapped on tariffs, thought trade wars were fun, and sent prices sky high. The poor and middle class stunned, gave billionaires breaks while families paid the cost. Cut health care for the working folk. Oh, what a loss! You threatened allies overseas, then brag it on TV. America first, more like disaster diplomacy. Wrecked the Oval and the East Wing. What a resume, but not the kind we honor on President's Day. Oh, dawn, we're celebrating presidents. Steady hands, not claws, not folks who tried to bend elections like they've been their bankruptcy laws. We're cheering peaceful transfer, not chaos on display. It's President's Day, my guy, but you don't get a say. Two impeachments, double the shame. You set a record true, yet somehow still you strut like the nation. Oh, you trashed every norm, every rule, every guide. Turned the Oval Office into a carnival ride. You spat on the press, lied with a grin, repeatedly broke the law. Mocked democracy while watching civility withdraw. Leaders lead with courage, you just shredded the play. It's President's Day, Donna, and you're not welcome today. We honor those who read a book, who knew a fact or two. We honor those who didn't cry a rigged election or try to stage a coup. We like our leaders boring, calm, maybe just a little wise. Not rage posting at midnight while democracy dies. We celebrate the Constitution, which is busting at the seams. Turns out governing a nation is harder than it seems. You have no honor, so we do not honor you today. That's why you're not invited to President's Day. God, we're celebrating presidents, the steady and the brave, the ones who built the house, not try to set it up to decay. We thank them for the service with duty, truth, and sway. It's President's Day, dear Don, but we're celebrating everyone else today. We sing for the country, the promise, the creed, for leaders with courage, with conscience.
Okay.
The flag still waves for the brave and the...
I hope that's not going to hurt me, but oh well. So I had my settings are messed up, and I got to write down all these apps I have so I can log into my new number. I don't know how I managed to get connected to. I got so many channel apps in my channels and stuff. So, yep, I have to restore everything. But I was just on a few minutes ago. And a quiet day today, so we'll be doing 2 shows. Nothing going on. Everything is all closed. Clara. Yep, you too, Ed. Carol, Lucy, and Tim should be coming back in. They're on the first stream. We just got some breaking news. One of the actors just passed away. It's starting to warm up. It's actually getting up there with K there, 45 and clear. Okay. Still no Billy Bean out yet. Go drinking water. Okay, we'll get started here. I text Lucy and Carol. Hopefully they're getting in. Here, we'll wait a few more minutes. Wow, 9 after already. All right, Carol's here. Here's Lucy. Hopefully Tim will be in here. Yeah, my settings are screwed up, Lucy, so hopefully I can get it on a new number. I'm lucky I had another way to get to the page. So a legendary actor just died. Just got breaking news.
Deal and the Drew and Jonathan collection. Comfortable and built to last. Save an extra 30% during Gardner White's President's Day sale.
Just into the newsroom, breaking moments ago, the family of Hollywood legend Robert Duvall confirming the actor has passed away. He was 95 years old. He was a breakout star back in the 1960s, playing Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird. Other roles including Tom Hagen in The Godfather, Mark in Apocalypse Now as Colonel Bill Kilgar. He took home an Oscar for Tender Mercies. We'll have a full look back at his very long life coming up.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Out.
Okay, that was that one. Okay, I'm gonna do that list 2.5 minutes video on the list again. Oh yeah, he was a good actor. Oh, Mike Bloomberg's on there. There's Chuck Schumer, Mitt Romney. Got 2 minutes. Tom Podesta. Oh no, Hillary. Oh, Lindsey Graham. Oh, Tom Gore. Harvey there. They're all on there. So that was another list. We got that one guy from TikTok, 9 minutes. Today's new one.
the year of our Lord 2026.
9 minutes.
I want to show you something here and pay very close attention because China, it's unrestricted warfare, it's unrestricted political warfare, asymmetric warfare is now in full complement in this country. Pay very close attention. That guy right there is Mr. Singham. He lives in Shanghai. This is his wife. Okay. That's Jody Evans. She's the founder of Code Pink. Okay. More importantly, Code Pink is aligned with many of the groups that this gentleman, Mr. Singham, is funding. Anti-American Marxist organizations. That Mr. Singham, ladies and gentlemen, this is the interesting part. He doesn't make he makes no bones about his affiliation or what he is. He is a stone cold Marxist. He is the one that Congress knows about that is funding all the, I guess what you might say, Antifa, left-wing anti-ICE protests they're basically fighting ICE. More importantly, I want to show you something here, and I've been studying this for a while. If you go to preservingamericaepac.com, you can watch our 4 documentaries about Marxist political warfare. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a massive global struggle for the balance of power on this planet. And I want to show you a couple of things. There's a, I guess, there's a book, The 100-Year Marathon. Now, this was written by Mr. Pillsbury, believe it or not. But China's secret strategy to replace America as the global superpower. That is their strategy. It is a no-bones book, and by Mr. Pillsbury, that defines out what China wants to do. For the last 20 years, China has been waging what's called unrestricted warfare on the United States. This book was written by these 2 gentlemen right here. Those 2 gentlemen are, let me lay it out to you as basically as I possibly can. This is the book. This book, okay, is the 2020 hardware facsimile of the 1999 edition. Unrestricted Warfare is a book on military strategy written in 1999 by 2 colonels in the People's Liberation Army. Its primary concern is how a nation such as the People's Republic of China can defeat a technologically superior opponent such as the United States through a variety of strategies. Rather than focusing on direct military confrontation, this book instead examines a variety of other means. Such means include using international lawfare, and a variety of economic means to place one's opponent, that's us, in a weakened position and circumvent the need for direct military action. It continues, stay with me. Of the various strategies discussed, perhaps the most relevant is that attacking specific networks. Networks are increasingly important in not only data exchange, but also transportation, financial institutions, and communications. These attacks are designed specifically to go after our communications, our infrastructure here in this country. And let me put it to you this way. If you go to preservingamericaepac.com, you can watch our documentaries, all 4 of them, for free. Our last one, watch our last one, please, and contact me. I'm going to put a link to my email in the description below, okay? Contact me. My name is Hugo G. Gerner III. Our last documentary, called A Nation in Distress, shows the American people how as a credentialed member of the press, I sat in on a cyber security committee hearing in Washington, D.C., and I watched the chairman tell the American people that, and this is a quote, the Chinese Communist Party now has burrowed into our cyberspace, or has burrowed into our cyber infrastructure. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, this Chinese Communist Party is the nation's biggest threat on many fronts. And they're here in this country. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese Communist Party operatives are here in this country right now. Our national security threat is at a heightened state right now. They can put our lights out. But more importantly, here's the thing I want to say. The Chinese Communist Party has leveraged itself into U.S. cyberspace. Then, in that committee hearing that I was just barely a year ago that I sat in on, I watched the ranking member, Benny Thompson, tell the American people that he could no longer provide for the nation's common defense. It's a little longer story, but I want you to go to our fourth documentary. You can watch it for free. Go to preservingamericaepac.com, watch all four of our documentaries. But in our fourth documentary, you can actually watch Benny Thompson say, I can no longer support, because Donald Trump is not doing everything he can. His hatred for Donald Trump is paramount, and they want to take him out. But more importantly, here's what I want to say. In that same documentary, you can watch a gentleman, Mr. Wales. This guy is an expert in the field of cyber threats and how cyber threats are affecting this nation, and how they can and continue to, for the most part, listen to me very carefully, take this country down without firing a shot. I am an authority, or what I guess I might say, properly spoken, an educated in Marxist political warfare. That's what this book is about. It was written by two colonels back in 1999. More importantly, I want folks to understand, this is not a game anymore. The Chinese Communist Party has making inroads, and they're trying to control what's called the global South and the global North. This is why Donald Trump is making the moves with Maduro and with Greenland. But more importantly, please go to preservingamericaepac.com, watch our fourth documentary, and you can see Mr. Wales directly in like 3 minutes lay down just exactly how serious the CCP has burrowed into our critical infrastructure and leveraged themselves in U.S. cyberspace. This could happen basically at any moment, but I want folks to understand everything is being, right now, thousands and thousands and thousands of people are working diligently to protect us from cyber threats and a cyber attack. But more importantly, one of the major components of Marxist political warfare is to get you to no longer trust our system. A lot of people in this country don't trust our government, or don't trust this, don't trust that. I'm asking you to relax. There's thousands and thousands of great people working to preserve and protect not just our infrastructure, but our values, our society, you and I as individuals. This government works. Our system works. We've got the right people in. Basically, Trump is in the White House. He's got a great cabinet, and we're going to continue this. We're hoping for the next, decade. That's how Donald Trump and you and I are going to preserve and protect our country. God bless.
Okay, that was today's update. That's another good one. Okay, Lucy, I got the first one. She came out almost 5 minutes. Then I got Kay's favorite.
MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. huge Trump supporter. However, this is why Trump did not want to release these files, because not everybody in the United States has comprehension skills and research skills and common sense. Okay. Now, I'm a huge Trump person, and I can tell you right now, y'all out here spread shit that was taken out of context in those files. Not every fucking person in the world that has ever said, I like pizza, is doing things to little kids. Y'all gonna make it where nobody even wants to eat pizza, talk about pizza, put themselves online, eating a slice of pizza. Y'all gonna fuck it up for the rest of us, okay? The second thing is, do y'all really think that Hillary Clinton took the face off a damn child and slapped it on her face? I mean, y'all, what the fuck is going on with us as human beings, okay? Do you know in the files, there is one man, that said he witnessed all this stuff on a yacht and told the FBI this. They could not prove it. It was just one guy. It's like if I came to the FBI and said, hey, I saw you eating baby drumsticks, and they go and they're like, we don't know what the fuck she's talking about. There's no sign of that, but they have to put it in the file. And then here we come, and we go crazy. Y'all even saying Jennifer Lawrence is doing this crap. Y'all saying people that would be 3 years old when this was going on was involved in eating this stuff. We have got to be smarter, guys. This is why we are in the mess that we are in. Now, let me ask you something. This is for the Trump supporters. Do you really think if there was evidence in those files that Hillary Clinton was little kids and putting them on, do you not think that President Trump would have come out and said, hey, here it is. Here it is. Guys, and it's the same for the left. Trump's in the files. So is everybody else. That doesn't mean they were doing stuff. This has gone on long enough. Now, y'all are sharing a photo of a little girl taped to a damn table that I just put on my thing. That is from a meme joking about childcare. That's what that is. But no, what do y'all do? Y'all fake it. Y'all put it out here and say it comes from Epstein files that they taped her to the table before they took her face off. This is why we are where we are. Because we have the brain of a fucking gnat. And whatever is told to us, we just believe like zombies. Grow up. Do some research. Stop spreading this fake shit, because all it does, it's like the left called us Rotsies. It's going to water it down till nobody believes anything, and it's going to dumb us down and numb us down to the point where we're not even affected by it anymore. Now, it's gone on too far. There is no evidence. There is nothing that actually says that somebody sat down at a damn dinner table and was doing this. Was there SA? Absolutely. Was there all this other stuff? Absolutely. Are there groups that do this? Absolutely. But it's not in these files. Take the time and research before you contribute to this problem. Thanks.
Okay, hope we'll get another one later on. Dang it. Oh, they won't let me play it. No.
Answer, and I have a feeling you actually have a real answer for this. And please explain to me why Donald Trump is putting his name on all of these buildings. And I'm like, well, I will do my best to make it as simple as possible. When
He's frozen.
Donald Trump has a NGO trust, an international jurisdiction. That's why it's called Trump International, right? And then he has like Trump National Durrell, and so he's a national and international jurisdiction in the United States, right? Because he's the United States president. He's under United States law. By him doing this, he is changing the jurisdiction of those facilities. Let me give you an example. The Trump Kennedy Center, right, now goes under international law.
Is this an old
national
one?
law? Okay, and an American non-governmental organization under a trust, which is Trump's trust. Him granting that means that there are no documents under the federal government that say Trump Kennedy Center. When there are no documents that say the Trump Kennedy Center, and that's the official name, that is now in a new jurisdiction that's outside of Congress, which means Congress doesn't have any authority. And the people that Congress put in place, like the ex officio, whatever, they have no say because they're foreign. And Congress has been evicted, and they are tenants awaiting eviction. So what he's doing is he is transferring. So when he says like the Trump East Wing is now the Trump Ballroom, whatever, well, that's a whole new jurisdiction. It's a whole new reality. It's a whole new place that they have no documents that match. And since they're speaking in a different dictionary with a different language, and Trump has a right to his name because it is global, international, the Trump brand name needs to give authorization to use. So he's using the branded name to change the jurisdiction and take it away from Congress. And that's why they're crying like little babies, because that's what they are. Little babies that are being told nobody cares what you think anymore because you're gone. Bye. You're a foreign entity that we are evicting. So go back to your kennel and bark to somebody else. That's what's happening. No different than all the assets that we're coming in contact with and we're moving are moving into our American private trust. Same thing. He's literally doing the same thing. He's using what he has to take away power from them. And they're crying like little babies about it because that's all they are, is little babies. So I hope this explains it. God bless. Godspeed.
That might be a new one. I can't remember. Okay, we got Q first video. Oh, stop whining, buddy. We're fine.
Than a human hair. Crazy.
What's up, family? Welcome back to Out of the Darkness. I am Q. So I didn't think that I'd ever see the day where the absolute ridiculousness of the left, that their arguments would become so ludicrous
Chico,
that CNN would have to say that that was a bridge too far, even for them. But we've reached the point where it is extreme lunacy. So over the weekend, we had Chuck Schumer go on to Jake Tapper's show, and he said that under no circumstances will the left or the Democrats allow the SAVE Act to go through. Now, Jake Tapper said, okay, And why is that? He says, well, the American people are totally against it. Jake Tapper, to his credit, said, well, sir, he said over 83% of Americans, including the vast majority of Democrats, are actually for using voter ID. How can you say that nobody wants it? And then Chuck Schumer, of course, did what he does. Well, it's Jim Crow 2.0. Now, let's discuss this for a second. Jim Crow 2.0. I mean, it sounds great. I give them credit. They are fantastic at creating a narrative. I wish the conservative movement was so good at creating narratives and slogans. I mean, if you want to talk about packaging something up and giving your base something to chant, they do a fantastic job of it. But they'll never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Now, let's unpack this a little bit. He goes on to say, well, any state can have voter ID laws. I mean, they can set it in place for however they want to. But what this SAVE Act does is it makes it nearly impossible for people of color and poor people to prove that they have the right to vote. He goes on to say how it's going to be impossible for people of color and poor people to prove and to be able to vote, which is what the extreme MAGA right want. Now, this is his saying. You can go back and watch the interview. He says this is what the extreme MAGA people want because they know that people of color and extremely poor people would vote against the MAGA right. Now that is frustrating to me because first and foremost, I find it incredibly offensive that you are going to assume that all people of color are drawn to the left, that all people of color somehow belong to Chuck Schumer and his plantation. That's the first issue I have with what he's saying. The second issue is rather disingenuous, in my opinion, because he's claiming that poor people vote for Democrats. Now, that's really interesting because we were told that the Democrat Party was for smart people. We were told that the Democrat Party was for the college educated. We were told that the Democrat Party is where all of the intelligent and people who were hardworking and middle class, that's where they were at, and that's who voted for them. And the poor, dumb people and the people who were uninformed and uneducated, that they were the ones who were being suckered into voting MAGA. But now he's saying that poor people belong to them also. So which one is it, Mr. Schumer? Which one is it, wacky Democrats? Which one is it? Is it that you have the higher ground on the college educated, intelligent folks, or is it the people of color and poor people that you guys claim to have locked up on your plantation? I would love to have an answer. What do you guys think about this double talk? Comment below.
Okay, the first Q video. Got anybody from Alabama? We got a 6-minute board meeting from Alabama.
A law that increases participation with the federal government with regard to customs operations. I think that that's a great thing that state and federal government work together. However, we need to make sure that those agents of the state is acting consistent with the limitations of power that the Constitution of the United States of America provides in the execution of their duties. Let me give you an example here. So the Constitution of the United States of America, Clause 1 of Amendment 5, that's obviously the overarching requirement that every state must follow, including your agents, as well as also customs and customs enforcement. But Clause 1 of Amendment 5, what it says that no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury. That's clear. You got to have an indictment by a grand jury before arresting someone and holding them over for a capital or an infamous crime. An infamous crime is any crime that's punishable by more than 1 year imprisonment in the penitentiary. I think we all understand that. A lot of these people that are being arrested by customs are being arrested on infamous crimes, and none of them have an indictment by a grand jury. This is an unconstitutional act. So the issue here is that if you guys permit your agents, law enforcement, sheriff's department, to work with the ICE agents, and those ICE agents are not following the constitutional obligations that they have enumerated within the Bill of Rights, then your agents are actually committing a crime. Now, an emolument violation is when you pay someone to violate the Constitution. You can't do that. Certainly not when you receive federal funding. You can never pay someone to violate federal law when you receive federal funding. So again, if your agents are simply relying upon the customs and customs enforcement to go out and do their duty, but customs is abridging the obligations codified in the Constitution, then your agents are now implicated within that criminal act. So you need to make sure that your agents are aware of the constitutional obligations that they have, because if the federal government simply comes in and you guys assist them, that is the crime of conspiracy to deprive of rights. It's Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 242. It's also a violation of the base crime of Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 242 and 241, which is deprivation of rights under color of law. So 242, what it says any person who, under the color of any state statute, ordinance, custom, or regulation, deprives any person of any rights secured by the Constitution commits that crime. The conspiracy to deprive of rights, 241, what that says is when two or more persons conspire with the purpose of depriving any person of any rights secured by the Constitution commits that crime. So what we're saying, or what I'm trying to say here is that you guys are responsible budgetarily for agents of this state, particularly the judiciary, and also the county jails. And if these county jails are facilitating the holding of these immigrants or these people that are being arrested by customs, you guys are actually responsible budgetarily for that criminal act to occur. And that is, again, an emolument violation. You can never pay someone to violate the Constitution. So I think that you guys need to make sure that before you approve working with the federal government, that you push back on the federal government, you make sure that they're obeying the Constitution for the United States of America. Because if they're not, and you permit your agents after being provided with this notice, then criminal sanctions can come from that. We don't want to head down that path. I want everybody to understand the limitations of power the Constitution has.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I do have a notice, a white paper here that I can provide you, and I would love if you guys would review that.
So very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Could I ask the gentleman a question?
Mhm.
Can ICE agents detain someone
3 minutes.
for being in the country illegally if they have not committed a crime while they're in the United States? Are ICE agents able to, do they constitutionally have the authority to detain someone who is in the country illegally?
They do, but if that arrest is deriving from an infamous crime, which is any crime punishable by more than 1 year imprisonment in a penitentiary, then that arrest, that detainment is still unconstitutional because it still is in violation of Clause 1 of Amendment 5. And remember, the Constitution doesn't say all citizens receive it. It says all persons, right? No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury. So even the detainment
Mr. Downing,
of a person. Yes, sir.
the question was pretty simple.
And I
Yes
answered it,
or
sir.
no.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to follow that. I think you said yes at first. They do have the right to detain someone even if they've not committed a crime while in the United States, just for being here illegally. I think you said yes, but then you were making a point that if they have committed a crime here in the United States, that they need to be indicted by a grand jury, then you're saying they could possibly be being held.
The crime of being here within the United States isn't of itself an infamous crime. That crime is still infamous. There's still
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It is still infamous in
infamous.
nature.
Okay. So the answer is they can be detained.
They can be detained, absolutely.
Okay.
The powers exist, but they have to be detained consistent with the procedures and processes the Constitution demands.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One more time, who are you with?
Justice Without Limits.
When you first came up here, you introduced yourself as being from Washington, D.C.?
I am.
And did you say you were
I'm a civil rights advocate out of Washington, D.C.
A civil rights
Yes,
advocate.
and all the information is right here within the white paper. If you will receive it, I'd be more than happy to provide it to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Service provided to the state of Alabama on behalf of the citizens of the United States for the crimes of deprivation of rights and the code of law, conspiracy to deprive rights, kidnapping, and other crimes is ascertainable by the evidence on the record. Do the right thing, Alabama. Let's go ahead and follow the Constitution of the United States, and there's failure to do so. Paying public officials to abridge their constitutional obligations is, in fact, a crime. And so I would ask you to please execute the duties of your office, fulfill the obligations and promises that you made to the people of the state of Alabama. Let's go ahead and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, news out of Alabama. Since Flying Eagle's not here, you guys gotta help me out. Let me know if I should play it or not. 9 minutes. Then I got a 7-part video. Oh.
Those are very important to those people. So I've done some research and wrote some stuff for you here. I want you to listen to this. You ever hear a judge say, is that you? Cop say, is that you? Is that your name? Those have meanings in their system. Listen to this. In the United States Code and broader federal regulations, the term you and your are frequently defined in specific sections to refer to a company, a legal entity, or an individual acting on behalf of an organization. They like to use that word individual a lot, I've noticed. And it's kind of like one of them deals where you're the one that's acting on behalf of their, ens legis. Anyways, so it says, while the U.S. Code uses the Dictionary Act 1 U.S.C. 1 to establish words like person, include corporations.
It seems to be okay, you think?
The specific uses of you is typically found in the Code of Federal Regulations, the CFR, or specific statutory subchapters to make legal language more readable. Well, now, ain't that nice of them? They're trying to make that legal language more readable. That legalese is now like more readable to you. You know what I'm saying? That must be important. Anyways, it says that a legal entity or company, in many regulations context, you refers to any corporation, partnership, association, or other organized group. For example, in many federal acquisition regulations, that's a FAR, such as 48 CFR, you is used to address the contractor or the bidder. What? That's why you need to go into your courtroom, because every time a case is brought forward, a bid bond is assigned to it. You need to ask for that across this country. Where's my bid bond? They're working off the concept of you and you answer to it. They write bonds on this. It's a security scheme. It's all about the money. You got to follow the money. That's what this is about at the end of the day. It's all it comes down to. It's about the money. It goes on to say, authorized representatives, and that would be you, I suppose, if you say, yes, that's me. So you and your is not the same as me and mine. It's kind of like person. It's not a people. Get it? Individual is not a people. Get it? Sometimes it's referred to as a legal representation, so representative. So like when you sign your driver's license, but the all uppercase ens legis, that's a Latin, in a lot of sovereign circles, they refer to it as a straw man. That was the very straw man was in the Wizard of Oz movie. Yeah. So the straw man has no brain, and the tin man, the TIN, the tax ID number man, has no heart. And the whole people are like the lion without courage. All bark, no bite. And of course, then Dorothy, she represented the bride that all these evil spirits were connected to. The cowardly lion was an evil spirit. The tax ID number man's an evil spirit. And the brain dead straw man ens legis all uppercase fiction. Yeah, that's an evil spirit's attached to you. That's why they summons the dead, because these entities are dead, and you receive a summons from the court. It's all about magic. It's all about spell casting. It's legalese is what it is. And we let this happen in our country, and yet we got all those Christian churches that don't stop this witchcraft, this Satan worship, this money, for the love of money. God didn't say anything about him versus the devil. He said you'll have to choose between God and mammon. Mammon's money. So the love of money is the root of all evil. So our country is nothing but a root of evil. It is the poisonous tree, fruit of the poisonous tree from the very beginning. And the people do nothing about
5
it.
minutes.
Why? Because you're uneducated. You don't study. You're more worried about ball games or drinking beer. You got enough money to buy your cigarettes or fix that tire. I get it. Being poor sucks. We're all poor. That's what you don't understand. There are no rich people left. The only people that are rich are the ones who stole all of our gold and silvers, our coppers, our platinums, our palladiums, all these things they stole from us and gave us fiat paper currency and said, that's good, that's legal tender. Well, what is a tender? I don't even get that. That's a whole nother legal topic. Let's stick back to this you and your business here. An authorized representative, that'd be you if you say, yep, that's me. Definitions that often state that you includes an individual, corporation, or entity on behalf of an individual is acting. Contextual definitions go this way. 15 USC subsection 70068 defines a person often as an antecedent for you in electronic signature laws. What? As an individual, corporation, business trust, or any other legal or commercial entity. A person is a commercial entity, legal and commercial entity. Get that in your head. That's that all uppercase spelling on the bill you get in the mail, on the license that you have in your wallet. 22 USC subsection 1641, it says that it defines a legal entity as a corporation or an entity organized under U.S. or state laws. What? All these statutory codes, they control commerce and things like that? No way. Then why are you answering to it? Why are we answering to it? Why did we not have our court set? Why are we going into their courts? We got some problems in this country. Our lack of education is screwing us in the dirt. 31 CFR subsection 19.985 explicitly states that a person, the subject of you in these rules, means any individual, corporation, legal entity, however organized. Was your birth organized? Do you suppose that the sperm united with the egg was organized under legal entity rules? No. So you're not the legal entity. That's the problem. They make it believe that all these things they do in your state, like in my state, state of Indiana, which is a corporate fiction bullshit deal, and underneath it is the common law, the land, the flesh and blood, the people.
What do you guys think of this guy?
What they don't want to tell you is up here what's holding this all together, the glue to keep this facade, this imaginary thing together. Well, it's all those bonds they sell, this money, and they sell them, and you're the bidder. You're the contractor. And when you go into their courts, first thing you need to say, I don't have anything to say until that bid bond's produced. Produce the bid bond. I have nothing to say. And you know what you might want to do? Is you might want to stay outside of the bar railing. Because when you enter into their ship, their captain's going to rule the boat. So you make sure you state yourself as, I am not a you or a your. I am a flesh and blood man appearing specially only. And I am only here to see the bid bond. Produce the bid bond. We can't go any further until that bid bond's produced. Produce it. Why? Because they made you a contractor. They made you a bidder. And that's why you're in there. That is the glue that holds their power together. And they do not want to produce the fraud that they brought upon you, the flesh and blood. Well, that would wake the people up. And we can't have those people woke up. So all these people tell me, I'm awake, I'm woke. Well, you might be something all right, but awake and woke probably ain't one of them. This is a farm boy. Better realize what's happening in our countries. You have a right to that common law court. You must petition for it.
That was pretty good. I think he was on Telegram. I got an update, 4-minute one before we do the 7-minute part. I guess there was a bad shooting here in Michigan.
News Channel 3's Lauren Sprinting more about the victims and the survivors tonight. She is live from Cracker Barrel in Texas Township. Lauren.
Oh, Texas.
Kate, we know that last night was supposed to be a fun night out for the 5 victims shot here at the Cracker Barrel, a group of 4 women, as well as a 14-year-old girl. The 4 women dead, that 14-year-old were told now on life support. The women were in their cars after dinner. Before that, they had gone to see a show at Miller Auditorium, part of a ladies' night tradition. The tragedy here, just one of 3 locations we're told the gunman hit.
And shot her once and she was still running with, and then shot her again and she fell. And she asked Joy, help me.
12-year-old Joy Coleman says she was holding a woman's hand here in the parking lot of the Meadows townhomes last night. That's when 45-year-old Jason Dalton stopped his car and asked her a question. Have you seen Maisie?
Is there something going on? Should I help you? And then just shot her. Couldn't help her because I knew I was going to get shot too, because he didn't stop shooting.
Coleman and the other children she was watching were able to get safely inside. The victim's daughter watching from the window as police say Dalton fired 10 rounds.
The little girl ran to the window, obviously looking for her mom. And my mom is dead. My mom is dead. He backed up and attempted again as they were running into the house and then missed.
Joy's mom, who had 11 kids in her house at the time, says Dalton came back at least 4 times.
He was pointing right at our house with the gun. It was silver.
I feel like they were looking for a specific person.
Travis Geddes and Devin Fletter in the townhome right next door.
It's just such an adrenaline rush because, like he said, we were just playing video games and then everything happened.
Saying they saw Dalton earlier in the day talking to children in the neighborhood. Joy says she saw him just an hour before the shooting.
He wasn't shooting at first when we first saw him. He was just looking creepy at us.
The victim here expected to recover, hit by 3 bullets in the legs and arms.
At this point, the connection between these 3 incidents, between these 3 cases, is the defendant, is Mr. Dalton.
Just a few hours after, police say Dalton shot his first victim around 10 p.m., 18-year-old Madawan senior Tyler Smith and his dad Richard were shot dead looking at cars at Sealy Kia on Stadium Drive. Minutes later, close friends Mary Lou Nye, Mary Jo Nye, Dorothy Brown, and Barbara Hawthorne were killed in their cars here at Cracker Barrel. A 14-year-old who was also in the car, now on life support.
This is just the most awful thing I can think of having happened.
West Michigan and the nation now grieving these 6 lives lost, while the survivors involved try to wrap their heads around the violence one man is accused of causing in the Kalamazoo community.
I never thought it would happen in my lifetime.
How are you feeling today?
Scared.
And the prosecutor tells us right now they are still working to establish a motive, working to figure out why Dalton may have been asking for someone named Maisie. They say he faces at least a dozen charges, if not more. 6 of those murder charges. We, of course, will be in court tomorrow for his arraignment. For now, we're live in Texas Township. Lauren Springer, News Channel 3.
Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This will be the first part of a 3-minute clips.
But with everything coming out now, I want you to keep this in mind. This series came out in 2018. Q Plan to Save the World. It is very informative. And, you know, when you watch this, Just think, in 2018, before the pandemic, nobody knew a lot of what's going on with the world stage. It talks about the media. It talks about big pharma. It talks about corruption in the government. It talks about Trump. It talks about military. It talks about a lot of things. But this is part one. This is going to be about a 17-part series. Let me know when you want to see part two. This is for entertainment purposes only. I do not own the rights to this video, TikTok, but please leave your comments and thoughts and let me know if you want to see part two.
That was part 2.
Have you ever
Hey,
wondered why we
Mike.
go to war, or why you never seem to be able?
Chico. Chico.
Before I post it, or else it gets taken down. I already lost an account prior to this.
Can you guys
This
hear
is for
this?
entertainment purposes only. But I want you to think about what we realize about the media now. In 2018, when this came out, we didn't know the censorship existed like we do now. And I want you to think about all the wars and the people in this video and where they're at on the world stage right now. You know, especially the royals and the Clintons and everything. So here's part 2. Let me know when you're ready for part 3 and enjoy.
This is where we were all tragically wrong. You are not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. So how can we just assume that it is human nature that is driving all this pain and misery? What if it wasn't human nature at all, and as a result of something more deliberate? We were taught that capitalism was the cause of a massive rich-poor divide and the reason for poverty, which in turn is the reason for war, crime.
That was. We'll go to part 5. I might have cut that off for a minute, I think.
Storm, Mr. President, and he's like, you'll find out. So maybe there really was a plan.
Is this one okay?
But this is all about the plan. Here's part 5. Let me know what your thoughts are and when you're ready for part 6.
Criminal plot to rob us blind and wipe us out. Hold that thought. Now I need to explain the plan. The good guys were devising a plan to reclaim the world from the cabal and return it to the people.
This doesn't make sense. I'm going to skip over this, you guys. I'm sorry about that one. We'll get something better on. Let's do a Doug video that came out, his first one. Oh, wait. We're going to do Cash video because they're talking about Hillary. Yes, Hillary video.
This data and analytics. Hillary Clinton's back, and this is how her return is going.
I'm really sorry for that.
It makes me
nervous. It makes me.
At this conference, they decided to ask her about Epstein.
Thank you very much. We have gone over from News Start to Epstein to the last question.
Oh, they're upset.
We're hoping that there will be continued release every day that passes. That doesn't mean, as our news commentators say every day in the United States, it's because someone's name is there, they committed a crime. I've called for, many, many years for everything to be to be put out there so people can not only see what is in them, but also, if appropriate, hold people accountable. We'll see what happens.
Who's in there that should be held accountable? Whose name didn't come up at all when this question was asked? And why is she here at a security conference? Is she plotting something? And Trump is also top of mind. She's furious.
To our title. He has betrayed the West. He's betrayed human values. He's betrayed the NATO Charter,
Trump's
the Atlantic
betrayed us.
Charter, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Yeah, Trump's terrible.
A lot of what has been done before to try to make sense of how difficult it is to
She's back,
restrain
folks.
people who want unaccountable power. And none of us in this room, including all of us on this panel, would choose to live under a regime that was so unaccountable that it could act with impunity the way that Putin does, except that's who Trump is modeling himself.
I don't think we would be
Trump
having
is just
this
as bad
debate
as Putin.
under that kind of regime.
Well, first, I think you really don't like him.
That is absolutely true. But
she has not forgiven those of you who did not make her president for voting for him. She hasn't forgiven you, and she might give you a second chance to redeem yourself.
Not only do I not like him, I don't like him because of what he's doing to the United States and the world. And I think you should take a hard look at it if you think that there is something good that will come
Not
out
only
of it.
do I hate him, I also hate what he's doing.
Trump is doing in America. I think it is reaction for something for some policies that really went too far. Too far from the regular people, too far from reality. So, we saw the cancel culture. We saw the woke revolution. I don't agree with
It's all a joke to her. When you confront her on anything,
we saw the woke revolution. I don't agree with the gender revolution, the climate alarmism.
Which gender? Women having their rights?
No, let Peter go on.
I think there are two genders, so
they had to
but some
tone her down.
Half of us. Can
some
we have
of
our
us.
rights?
So this is something that went too far.
But does that justify selling out the people of Ukraine who are on the front lines?
I'm sorry that it makes you nervous. I'm really sorry for
It
that.
makes me nervous. It makes me very.
Oh, the anger. The anger, it's there. She's angry. How dare this man confront her on anything? How dare these people ask her questions? She should have been in her second term should have been over. But what about this idea that Hillary might be too old to run for president for the fourth or fifth time?
Well, as perhaps one of the few people who has actually been around since the end of the Second World War.
She's enough to be president, folks.
Let me add my version of history to
let's hear this.
The revisionism that
she's
I
about to
hear,
revive history
not
for
just
us.
this conversation, but so many other places.
Let's hear this.
It is, for me, a blessing that freedom was expanded to include, in the United States, for example, the right of Black people to be treated at least better than they had been for 400 or so years.
Everyone agrees with that.
It was a culmination of freedom for women to be given their rights much more fully than they had been.
Everyone agrees with that.
It was, I think, a dramatic recognition of human dignity. I understand conservative impulses. I understand we are fighting an ideological battle that is as old as time.
Oh, really?
There are those of us who are more comfortable in a more open, tolerant world.
She's open, she's tolerant, yet as you're about to hear, conservatives disagree with things like the civil rights of other people, and your vote for Trump is an impulse. She understands. You're an animal.
And there are those who have their concerns about it because they worry about the impact on existing institutions like the family, community, and others. So this really, yes, migration has been a huge flashpoint. More people were deported under my husband and Barack Obama without putting children into detention camps than were in the first Trump term or this first year of Trump's second term. So I think
she's
it's
ready.
important.
She's going to secure the border better than
look
Trump.
at the facts, because very often the ideological impulse to try to protect the status quo or return making America great again in some nostalgic past that existed for white men and capitalists.
Okay, there it is. There it is. She's back, folks. This is her policy proposal when she runs for president, when she throws her hat back in the ring for the 4th or 5th time here. She's going to come in. She is going to secure the border because you're upset about that. And she's going to do it while not taking us back to a time where certain people in America didn't have the right to vote, which is what the Republicans want to do. Can you believe this? Revisionism? And she's accusing others of revisionism.
Enterprise was not exactly open and welcoming to people who look like me and a lot of other people who are part of our national fabric. I have no argument with the necessity of trying to figure out how do we form families. I'm very proud of my family. I'm proud of my 3 grandchildren. I am proud to be part of that tradition.
How about Bill?
That doesn't mean everybody has to be.
Why won't you mention Bill?
That doesn't mean everyone who doesn't have children is somehow an illegitimate human being.
No one said that.
So how do we make the case in a positive way, not a bullying?
Because Trump's a bully. You hear this? Everything she's saying, she says exists in opposition to an evil, horrible regime, a Trump regime that you voted for. But don't worry, folks. She gets you on the border. She's ready to come in and take those moderate voters, sweep them into her camp, and run things just like it's the 90s.
And very shameful way. So this debate that's going on is driven by an effort to control people, to control who we are, how we look.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do that.
Who we love. And I think we need to call it for what it is. There is a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way.
This woman will literally say anything if it means people support her. Don't tell me for a second none of this has a presidential aspiration behind it. She's the only Democrat coming out saying that she is for securing the border. Gavin Newsom, AOC, these people don't even know what they think, and they're certainly not going to say something like this, but she is positioning herself as the antithesis to all of America's supposed problems. But just before we continue, you may have seen the conversations online lately about how censorship is back, and it's happening everywhere. Platforms are controlling narratives, and they're pushing the stuff they want us to see. We need to fight back. And Rumble is the only company that has stood the test of time and deserves our support. On the one side, Rumble is challenging big tech censorship, but on the other side, they have introduced something that will give us protection from the big banks shutting us down. Banks can cancel our accounts and freeze our credit cards. So that's why they launched Rumble Wallet, a wallet no one can cancel, and a wallet that supporters can use to instantly tip creators like myself without any middleman taking a cut. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money. Not a bank, not a government, not a tech company, not even Rumble can touch it. It's yours, only yours, yours to protect your future and your family. You can buy and save digital assets like Bitcoin and Tether Gold in one place. Tether Gold is real gold on the blockchain with real ownership of physical gold bars. It's not only a wallet to buy and save, but it also allows you to support your favorite creators by easily tipping them with the click of a button. There will be no fees when you tip my channel or others. We actually receive the tip instantly, unlike other platforms where we have to wait for payouts. You can support my show and others by clicking the tip button on my Rumble channel. That's wallet.rumble.com. Download Rumble Wallet today, open an account, and step away from the big banks for good. Wallet.rumble.com or search Rumble Wallet in your app store.
I have to say one more thing. You said that Ukraine fights for our future and for our freedom. I think first, Ukraine fights for Ukraine's future, Ukraine's freedom, and Ukraine's
values,
sovereignty and independence.
Right.
So we should help them, of course. But what I see in some people in the West, they are trying to help the Ukraine. But that's another question. I don't know if Trump's administration is helping the Ukraine to stop the war. I believe I believe that there is such an approach. I don't see any other strong geopolitical player.
If Hillary Clinton were president right now, Venezuela would still exist as a dictatorship. They would still sell their illegal sanctioned oil to countries like Russia and China and help them and Iran evade U.S. sanctions and stay powerful, power that these countries use to do things like wage war on countries like Ukraine.
I don't know if the pressure, if Trump is forcing Russia in the way that they will stop the war. I don't know.
Their money's running out.
The only Americans right at the moment can make it. I see the dialogue.
Do you think Europe could put more pressure on Russia, for example, by putting pressure on Turkey, by targeting the refineries of oil more, and so on?
Sanctions don't work. Sanctions don't work unless you're going to go and take those sanctioned oil tankers and seize them and bring them and their illegal oil and throw it in the United States strategic reserve. That's what we're doing now. Without force, you can't enforce sanctions. I'm sorry. That's why they've been evaded for so long. That's why we have the Ukraine war, because the sanctions never worked.
To make some pressure, we release sanctions. We do what we can. But I think the Russians, they probably don't care. When I visited Ukraine, I saw the goodwill of all people in Ukraine. They were really united and willing to stop the war. But
they keep fighting. They seem to be.
They also made some steps that probably a year ago no one from them would allow to say or even suggest. Now they are ready to make some steps back.
So things for Hillary Clinton not looking great. She came out here to be an expert on everything, and she has proven that she might not be an expert on everything, just like somebody else who came to this conference to further their presidential ambitions, which I think, well, let me see what you think.
And to all of you, and Congressman, I'll start with you, would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan?
Oh, this is great.
If China were to move.
I think that this is such a, I think that this is a,
Today, Junior. Yep. It's called a home equity agreement. And I got $143,000.
This is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
But exciting moments like that are exactly why Hillary Clinton thinks it is time for a rebrand, and that this time it's going to work.
Bring in Guy Benson, host of the Guy Benson Show on Fox Radio. Wanted to get your take on that. She's sometimes been more in the middle in her party when it comes on to immigration. To me, it's not so much that she's changed, but the rest of the party has shifted much to the left, especially the younger folks.
She's saying what it takes to get votes.
Yeah, you look at the Clinton era Democrats, and they sound like right-wing conservatives on the issue of illegal immigration. Even Barack Obama, when he was running for office and was president, he sounds like someone who'd be totally rejected by the left wing of the party today. I'm not sure, Dana, that these are true believers, right? That they actually think that we need to really toughen up the borders and throw in a few adjectives like humane. I think they recognize that they need to say these things and deliver less chaotic results for the electorate for the purpose of winning elections and gaining power. Now, that's a question of motives. It's impossible to know what's happening in her heart. I just didn't.
The motive is, I want to be president. That's the motive. It's not complicated. She wants to rule this country, and she is going to try again. At least she's setting up for it.
See her making comments like this publicly when her party was in charge, when this was spinning out of control.
Right.
Yeah.
Then Trump ran on this, won on this.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she's got a message for the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
President Obama also made a lot of news this week, and let's just pick this one, and that was on dealing with homelessness.
Morally, ethically speaking, it is an atrocity that in a country this wealthy, we have people just on the streets. But we should also recognize that the average person, doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown. We're not going to be able to generate support for it if we simply say, you know what, it's not their fault, and so they should be able to do whatever they want.
It's like an entire political machine has come out of hiding over the last few days and has reemerged as the party of moderation, of tolerance, of caring for each other, of caring for America's homeless, even though a lot of the problems we have in this country, like homelessness and like a wide open border and like regimes in places like Iran that still threaten us today, all of that stuff came about under their watch. They've literally put sticks on the fire, and now they're offering themselves up as the solution, as the AOCs and the Gavin Newsoms and the Tim Walzes of the world implode. These guys are back.
Grass-fed beef thyroid contains everything that a thyroid needs for optimal function.
Here's something most drivers don't know. The older your car, the cheaper your insurance should be.
Because that's a losing political strategy.
Yeah, losing strategy.
Gavin Newsom would pick up on
now
that?
they changed the strategy. It's a strategy change.
I think Gavin Newsom will pick up on anything that he wants to in order to win, right? And he will reshape himself. He is the shape-shifting character, even week to week, based on what he thinks people want to hear. And notice the last few words of that little mini lecture from Barack Obama. And I don't totally disagree with what he said, but he said this is a losing electoral proposition. It's about campaigns, winning or losing. I think what the Hillarys, Obamas, and others of the world, they want their party to win elections by doing what, for example, Democrats in Virginia, like Abigail Spanberger did. Talk a good game from sort of the center left, emphasize affordability, sound very sensible and somewhat moderate, and then win all the power and then go hard left and implement whatever they want to do.
How do you hold someone like, let's just say, Hillary Clinton? How would you hold her accountable for these statements on securing the border when, in order to win, she's going to need the votes of people who want to see the border wide open once again, because that is the base of her party. This is very, very interesting. Those people are out there right now, and they're very angry. They've been hearing for over a decade that Trump is the biggest problem, not just for America, for the entire world. Hillary's back. She's going to put a stop to that. She's trying to build this coalition with support from people like former President Obama, who are coming out and saying, hey, this messaging is not who we are. And this is the relaunch, the rebranding of the left field political apparatus in America during a midterm election 2 years before another president.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, step one is winning the election. Step two is all the left-wing stuff that they want to do. So if they've got to fool people, bamboozle people in the process to get their votes, so be it.
It reminds me of the Jonah Goldberg book, Liberal Fascism, from maybe like, what was that, 15, 16, 18 years ago, in which he said something like that they're very patient. President Obama also said this about needing to have younger candidates.
Does that mean Hillary can't run?
An element of, at some point, you age out. You're not connected directly to the immediate struggles that folks are going through.
What about President Biden, who was endorsed by President Obama, the oldest president we've ever had? Are we supposed to believe that deep down the wise Barack Obama understood that Joe Biden was completely disconnected from the plight of Americans?
Democrats do well when we have candidates who are plugged into the moment,
like Zoran Mamdani,
to the times and the particular struggles that folks are thinking about as they look towards the future rather than look backward toward the past.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that you're looking at on both sides of the aisle, there are some lawmakers who are quite up there. If you look at both in the House and the Senate, well into their 80s and their 90s, and President Obama warning the Democrats, like, you got to look a little bit younger, folks.
But at the same time, Hillary is out in force. She's not going to be the oldest president we've ever had if she were to run. This is not an issue. Trump's older than she is. Trump definitely, for his age, is out there fighting like most people his age can't do. Will she fight that hard for America? Does she believe in securing the border, or is this a ploy to rebrand and wrestle back control of a political party that is so far out in left field? People like her think they can appeal to the rest of us as moderates. Let me know. Thank you so much.
You did pretty good for breaking all that down with the Clintons and the Obamas. Hey, Carol, I got a longer video about Robert Duvall, a 4-minute clip that came out. I want to play. I'm going to do about 5 more short clips.
They get to know your unique situation and get you every dollar you deserve. So hand off your taxes to a local TurboTax expert today.
Between action and cut, I feel a great peace.
About 4 minutes.
If he can run tomorrow, he crush you to win the race.
I feel like I exist well between those two words for the most part.
For old time's sake. Can't do it, Sally.
More than 80 films, 7 Oscar nominations, a Best Actor win in 1984, and the perfect delivery of one of the most iconic lines in film history.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Not bad considering his movie debut in 1962's To Kill a Mockingbird didn't have any lines at all.
Hey, Boo.
I had one word. I had one line and they cut it. But that was all. When I come out of the house, I say, which way is home? And they said that way, but they cut that. So I had no line, you know.
Duvall eventually moved to New York and formed a close friendship with Gene Hackman.
I don't know. We used to look for jobs, and then he said, this guy's going to come to town one time with a big nose and a shock of black hair. He's very talented. You're going to like this guy. He used to sleep on my floor. And then so he introduced me about 6 months later to Dustin Hoffman, you know, okay.
He slept on the floor, and I finally introduced him to Bob Duvall just to get him out of the house.
We didn't ever think for 1 minute we were going to be successful to the degree that we would be famous.
It's not like these guys like Robert Redford, these guys, they must have difficult times going out the street. I don't quite have that thing going for me, which is okay. Whatever I get is okay, you know.
Duvall's everyman looks afforded him time with his real passion, dancing.
Yeah, I was out tangoing last night. Oh yeah, I've written a script on the tango. What I'm going to do is a feature film.
That movie became Assassination Tango, which he starred in with his eventual wife, Luciana, whom he married in 2005. E.T. joined the couple as they prepared for the Oscars in 1998.
So, haircut time?
Yeah.
We're off.
My 3 hairs.
It's like Cinderella.
I didn't have to get a haircut because they'd be looking at her. Not me.
Duvall also invited E.T. behind the gates of the 360-acre Virginia ranch the couple called home.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of writing here as well?
Not much. I write sporadically. I was such a terrible writer in school. But I only write
well,
about.
I think you've improved.
Well, yeah. Well, I think I can write about what I know, you know. But
right.
I never knew anything then. I mean, when you're a young guy, what do you know? You got to live a little bit, you know.
And what do you know now?
Well, a little bit more, maybe. A little bit more. I can't stay. I have to work. Someday when I'm wiping a drool and everything, and then I'll retire, but not for a while. I got too many things I want to do, you know.
Baby, you're the only dream I've ever had that's come true.
What is that thing that you hope people think of when they see your body of work?
Well, maybe they get something out of the fact that I think I'm versatile and can do different things, and you know, benefit from any of the humanity and the positive things that come out of those parts.
Is chat working?
Forget everything you.
I hope that was okay. Another one, Lucy.
About this again. So all of y'all send me messages.
Y'all telling me that Anthony Weiner served 22 months in prison for exposing himself, but he had a video on his laptop of this crap, and he didn't use it as leverage. When was he arrested? And you're telling me this didn't come out like all over the national news. Also, you're telling me that Hillary Clinton, with all the money that she's got, couldn't set this up in a nicer place. Instead, they went to some damn dingy ass dungeon under the earth where the damn sinks were filled with filth and dirt and grime and shit everywhere. And they down there just gorging and shit. And so then, instead of just going to a plastic surgeon like she can afford, she decides she gonna slap that girl's face on her face. I mean, what the fuck? So the surgeon is sitting over there in the corner with his dirty little hands and his dirty fingernails and his dirty ass little lab coat, and he runs over there real quick and stitches her up. Okay? Guys, and then y'all are saying, so here I'm going, okay, if this was real, don't you think President Trump would have fucking jumped on this with everything they've done to him? He's waiting for us to wake up. He's waiting for us to wake up. We elected him. He's been in office over a year. What's he waiting on? It's a secret military operation. Nobody knows about it. He's got to do it right. Well, who the fuck told you? I follow the right people. Who the fuck do you follow that's in Trump's military that's telling this shit to regular people who spread it to other people? Guys, a lot of those images are on the old metal rock albums. A lot of that shit, the images come from rotten.com. I've been fucking looking into this. Guys, we got to stop. We have to stop. I do believe Anne Heche was taken out. I do believe Michael Jackson was taken out. I believe because they knew what was going on with children. But I do not believe this. What? Hey, guys, so I'm going to have to...
Okay, we got two of her today. I'm going to do Doug doing the show. I'm back at 6.
Our vice president.
This is some outrageous video here where he says that all of you, the taxpayer, should pay for the damage that he claims Trump did in his state. We got much more than that because this goes into him not wanting to clean up the voter rolls, Democrats needing illegals to vote in this next election or they will lose. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are.
I was born in a country fought by men better than me. Now we're in exile.
Hey, when he plays the music.
Make a buffoon of himself again.
The federal government needs to pay for what they broke here. There are going to be accountability on the things that happen, but one of the things is the incredible and immense costs that were borne by the people of this state. The federal government needs to be responsible. You don't get to break things and then just leave without doing something about it. So we're going to be asking the federal delegation to be investing and doing the things necessary. The federal government needs to pay for what they broke here. They are going to be...
Okay, I just wanted to play that again. The federal government needs... He's blaming the federal government for breaking what happened in Minnesota. He's the one that called all of these violent rioters to come out and attack ICE. And then he blames ICE for causing the trouble. ICE didn't do anything but remove the most dangerous illegals there were, cut down Somali fraud, and then he blames the American taxpayer. My only question to all of you is, does he get away with it? Is anyone believing this one, that we, the taxpayer, should have to pay for what he did in Minnesota? I'd like to hear in the chat, all my Minnesotans out there can tell me if you're ready to pay for this stuff. But wait, there's more. This gets filed under the what's wrong with Tim Walz.
Look, it's not law-abiding citizens. If that were the case, there's a lot of white men should be holding a lot of white men accountable for the...
So this is going back to the old white men. Now, I'm a white man, and he says that white men should be holding white men accountable instead of blaming Somalis. I agree with Tim Walz on this. I'm going to convince you, and I'm going to make you agree too, because I'm a white guy holding Tim Walz, a white guy, accountable? You guys can tell me in the chat. How do we hold Tim Walz accountable? I especially want to hear from my white guys in the audience. How do you, a white guy, hold Tim Walz accountable? A white guy. He says, hey, white guys should be holding more white guys accountable. Don't go after, white guys shouldn't be going after Somali fraud. Okay, we're going to go after Tim Walz fraud. We're white guys.
For the crimes that they have committed. I think for the community to maybe educate their population, because I think what you're seeing here is there's secondary victims in this, that there's providers inside the community that are then victimizing the community themselves by signing them up. Because when we're going to some of these people,
he's describing exactly what he did. He's going, look, it's not the Somalis' fault. It's someone else is a bad actor signing them up on all of these fraudulent things. They're innocent. Who's the guys that signed them up? Pritzker, Tim Walz, white guys. Tim Walz did it. So he's the guy he's saying we should go after. And I'm all for it. Right here in Exile, we agree. Next up, I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm excited because Chapter is once again a sponsor of this show. And they've signed up to a major commitment. You know that they saved you, my audience, $1 million just in the last quarter of last year. Now, I'm just going to say it very simple. We're going to put the number on the screen. If you're about to turn 65 and you're confused about Medicare, you want help with finding a Medicare plan, then you're going to call the number 631-961-8696. That's how they know that the Doug in Exile show sent you to Chapter by calling the number 631-961-8696. It's the first pinned comment and it's in the description. So find that phone number, give them a call, say, hey, I'm a little lost on this Medicare stuff. I'm about to turn 65. I could use a little help. Let's get back to Tim Walz because the corruption goes much deeper than you thought. See, I'm going to drag in now Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, who is one of my favorite people ever. She announces she has launched lawsuits against 25 states and Washington, D.C. for refusing to clean their voter rolls. What does that mean? They don't want to look in their voter rolls to see how many illegals are voting. Think about it for a second. Here's the question. Why would 25 states refuse to clean their voter rolls? Now, you guys can tell me, let's take a guess. Which states don't want to clean their voter rolls? I wonder which ones. You can tell me if here's Minnesota. There's Tim Walz's state. Why does Tim Walz's state, which is being sued now by Harmeet Dillon, why does Tim Walz's state not want to clean its voter rolls? Same thing with California, Michigan, New York, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Maine, Oregon, Colorado, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Nevada. Are you guys seeing the pattern yet? Delaware, Maryland, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, Illinois, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Connecticut, Virginia, District of Columbia. Is there a pattern? There are blue states or swinging blue states. Only blue states don't want to submit their voter rolls to Harmeet Dillon. Here she is on the Matt Gaetz show, which she posted this interview on X. It's a brief 47-second clip. She'll explain it.
We asked all of the states and the District of Columbia to give us their voter rolls so that we could compare them with our federal databases and help them comply with our federal civil rights laws. About 14 of the states have complied with us voluntarily. We've engaged in some litigation and settled it with North Carolina, where they agreed to clean up their voter rolls. And we have compliance coming in from a few more states. But so far, I've sued 25 states in the District of Columbia for refusing to help us help them do their jobs and clean up the voter rolls. And I'm sorry to say some of those states include where there are people you would think would want, according to the populace there, Republican-dominated states, want clean voter rolls, and they haven't been willing to comply. And so that's disappointing.
So this is even a few red states, almost all blue states. They don't want to comply with cleaning up their voter rolls.
You can't spell anything without AI. And AI.
Here's more from Tim Walz.
These folks don't want to be involved in politics. They want to teach kids. They chose this profession because it's what they love. And now they've been thrown into the middle of this absolutely ridiculous fight.
This is Tim Walz defending teachers for dragging them into this fight, which is in not transing kids. Not transing kids, he says, is a fight that teachers didn't want to get dragged into. Well, maybe you shouldn't have pushed it from the state down.
It will go just as well as the tariffs have gone. Just as well as the stock market's going.
He says that this isn't going to go well, that it's not going to go as well as the tariffs are going, which when I last checked, they were going pretty well. And he says it's going to go just as well as the stock market. Stock market, which reached a 50,000 record just this last week. Stock market's never been better. And he says that this getting involved in Minnesota corrupt teachers and their schools and trying to fix them will go just as well as that. Well, he doesn't realize that's a total self-own.
Just as well as egg prices have gone, but
just as well as egg prices have gone. Egg prices are down from where they were under Biden. So we're looking pretty good on all this, guys. We're still looking good on this. And finally, this is the final one. This is Obama versus Trump, because Tim Walz is claiming Trump is killing people with the ICE custody deaths. We're just going to compare Obama's deaths to Trump's deaths. So here's Obama, 2009 to 2016 versus Trump, 2017 to 2020. Obama, his ICE custody deaths were 114 people died in his custody. Under Trump, only 22 people died. Obama's average is 14 per year, and Trump's was only 5 to 6 deaths per year. So this is how the media and Democrats work. Deaths under Obama are good, 114. Deaths under Trump, 22 are bad. Are you guys seeing how this works yet? Should white people be holding Tim Walz, a white person, accountable? Because I'm ready to go full-blown white-on-white justice on Tim Walz. I'm Doug in exile.
Okay, that's the first dog. All right, we're going to take a break, and I'll be back at 6 o'clock, and hopefully my settings will still be up. So, hey, everybody. Carol, Tim, Lucy, KK. You must be out in the woods. So we'll be back around 6 o'clock. So God bless. Remember, please hit like, subscribe to the description box, the backup channel, please. Stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. Never give up. Signing off, Chico Dude, for a few hours. Back soon.